Hey, what's up, guys? Here to make another video. The last one did really, really well. I didn't expect that. Um, I guess a microphone can change a lot of different stuff, so that's cool. Thank you to everyone that's commented and subscribed. I didn't expect that. Um, Thank you very much. Totally unexpected. Hello, new people and ones that have been here before. Anyways, with all that aside, um, someone in the family group basically had mentioned something about the body armor. Why the need for body armor? Should we get one? Should that only be for the military, maybe the police, etc.? Well, upon thinking about that for a couple of days and watching a bunch of videos about it, which I'll link below, that gives a more thorough understanding of the use case, philosophy, from practicality, that kind of thing. I wanted to talk about why I have one and a ballistic helmet. So, the purpose of having a pistol or rifle or shotgun, outside of plinking, uh, target practice, competition, just fun, responsible things. Of course, self-defense, and outside of that, your citizen responsibility and civic duty to protect your community. That's what the founding fathers had initiated the whole Second Amendment for. The militia, not so much like a group in the modern terms, but the militia is basically anyone of legal age to, I don't know, 60s, 70s, able bodied people. And that is the population of the country. So, looking back how they thought and the original context of it and how the founding fathers thought was every able bodied person should be able to, at a minute's notice, man, get up and be able to protect the community and the loved ones in their area. And the idea behind this was to prevent standing armies, which was, in the other amendments mentioned the search and seizure and all this, and that we're not supposed to house standing armies in our businesses and homes because that could easily be used to turn against us to crush and quill the population due to a tyrannical despot. A lot's changed since that era, and a lot hasn't. But one thing that's the same is it is in our country, you have a moral and civic duty to protect your loved ones and your community. So that's why we have firearms to do so. Now, this is, like I say, a worst case scenario, WCS. And God forbid, we have to encounter, really people like jihadists or extremists or, really, crazy ass people and engage them. Hopefully, the military, National Guard, and police and agencies and deputies and everyone else stepped in to deal with that. But in a scenario where that's not the case, it might behoove someone to get a plate carrier. In that situation, we're no longer talking about shooting a target, a piece of paper on a flat range. No, in that case, we are also targets. It's a two-way range at that point. Bullets are coming back and forth. So if you don't feel there's a need for a plate carrier or body armor in that situation, what do you have to protect you exactly? A cloth t-shirt? You're going to get blasted, and you're not going to like it. So I believe in fully exercising my Second Amendment, and that's not just like going to the range and taking tactical lessons or enhanced gun ownership lessons, whatever you want to call it. This is a continuation. This is like if you're a car guy, hey, I got some, maybe you're starting off and like, hey, I got some new wheels. Okay, cool. Well, now you want to put in a cold air intake. Okay, cool. Now you're talking about maybe putting in a turbocharger or supercharger or, work on your engine or your powertrain, transmission, suspension. It's your car to do that as you will. And it's just as deadly as a rifle as far as you can run someone over in a very fast car that's like 2,000 pounds plus of metal. That's a horrible thing. No one should ever do that. However, this is the same concept of the body armor and rifle. It's an expansion. It's a fulfillment of your Second Amendment obligation to protect your community and loved ones. With this, I have some steel plates in here. I think it's a Armored Scorpion level 3+. You know, they're pretty good plates. They're affordable at the time. I'm looking into, in the near future, perhaps RMA armor. They have like essentially level 3+4 plates that are about 5 pounds. These are about 9 pounds. So, you know, that's 18 pounds of metal strapped to you. Plus that Trek coating, which is like, it helps us, if, you know, your plate gets hit with a bullet, the spall's caught by this rubber lining that's built over the surface of the metal. And that's why it keeps, you know, like there's this big urban legend almost of like, oh my God, the bullet spall's gonna come up and cut into my carburetor and kill me. And well, no, not if you have a coating on it, it won't. It's going to keep that all contained. Plus also the material of the plate carrier. But I understand what you mean. And a polyethylene hybrid ceramic armor might be a better bet if you can afford it. Prices are dropping lately, so that's a good thing to see. Anywho, so in terms of a plate carrier, why a citizen should have it, do you have insurance on your car or house or whatnot? I hope so, because this is the same thing. This is insurance. This protects my thorax, heart, lungs, liver, all that. This keeps me alive another day. Now, this is a good thing. And it's purely defensive. There's nothing offensive about armor. Now, I think there were some court cases back in the day of, you know, the those two crazy shooters that shot up Burbank or somewhere in California. He had like AKs and body armor and stuff like that. Pretty rudimentary, you know, back then in the early 90s, I think. And, you know, the assumption was, well, if you're, you know, you have, you know, fully auto AKs and put on plate carriers, you're expecting conflict. In that case, they were correct. They were bank robbers, I think, LA bank robbers. But in this case, if the officers or civilians had had plate carriers on them as well, they would have been protected. And I think at the time they were limited to just 9mm pistols and shotguns, and that did nothing to them basically. But I think it took someone with a rifle to take them out eventually because it wasn't rated for their rifle. Anyways, I'm trying to get sidetracked here, but this is kind of like a rabbit hole to go into, and there's a lot of nuance and context to this. So, your average person plate carrier, what are circumstances where you would need one? Mostly, you don't. I'll be honest with you, you really don't need one. Is it kind of a want? A little bit, yes. But I also see it as being a more total fulfillment of your Second Amendment rights. Yes, you can shoot and protect yourself, but if you don't have anything to literally protect your body, that's ridiculous. Or you do just hide around buildings and trees. What if you live in the Southwest or the plains? You're going to get hit. You need something to protect you. And that also applies for helmets. And plus, this stuff's just, you can also use it. Say you take off the pouches, whatnot. You can put the extra weight and go running, and that'll help build up your endurance. I feel like airsoft or paintball, it's kind of stuff's fun to get into. You don't have to get ballistically rated, obviously, for something like that. But the American idea specifically, and maybe the Swiss can relate to this, of being a citizen that is not only capable of defending your family and community, but you're also capable of defending yourself and greater your country. And these are the people you want in your country to protect you from outside or internal existential threats. So now that I've said that, this is maybe looking like, whoa, you may want one, you may not, I don't know. Also, physicality plays a role. If you're gonna have a plate carrier, go exercise with it. Go into the woods, go somewhere, go to a shooting range, practice and do your drills. It is draining. It's pretty rough, and this is just from a civilian perspective, right? I'm not, you know, some operator guy that's operating, you know, days, weeks, months out of this thing because it's part of their job. You can only imagine what they go through. Mike Glover makes an excellent video about this. He hates plate carriers, but in his sense, he also was a CIA contractor, and a lot of times he kept plate carriers to protect his oh geez, I'm drawing a blank here. Oh, his assets and intelligence agency is designed to protect. And so in this case, say this were stripped down and had nothing on it. You know, crazy things happen in the world. People block traffic. There's cartel violence and all this kind of thing. You slap this over your loved one, your kid or whoever, and it's an extra assurance that they're probably going to be okay with that, and that's really good, peace of mind to have. There's also a history of looking back at it of the 80s and before in Vietnam era they had body armor. But a lot of times it was, they're in triple canopy, Vietnam jungle, over 100 degrees every day or whatnot. Just incredible humidity, and this was smoking pretty good. But if you probably talk to some of the veterans that are alive today, maybe it still would have been a good option for them to have because it just would have protected them, and might be still people alive today that aren't now because of this. So really, it's actual life insurance. Now, it's up to you and your budget and your concerns and your priorities. So as an individual, you just have to come up with what you think is the best way of doing this. I personally would recommend it. If nothing else, it looks cool. It sits in a corner. Looks nice. I put this on occasionally, go into my woods and do some patrolling and practicing. And I want to keep that level up, So I appreciate that, especially like in the winter. When it gets below 30 degrees. The extra layers of protection from the cold is pretty good. Like a jacket underneath this, and balaclava or mask or scarf or whatever, and then you're pretty well set. It helps keep you warm. The extra weight keeps your body warm as you're going through the woods and burning calories. Also make sure I have obviously water and food for you in that kind of case. But I really recommend that people should at least consider plate carriers or armor. You don't have to be a SWAT guy. You don't have to be a military guy. Again, it's just fulfillment of fully exercising your Second Amendment rights. And worst case scenario, nothing ever happens, you can always sell it and get rid of it. So you have options out there. Anyways, just been doing this around the last couple of days. Like I said, I'll link the videos and everything. They're much more thorough and better nuanced and provide better examples. I'm just a civilian layman. What do I know? But yeah, that's it. Anyways, everyone have a good day.